Hello there, I'm Joshua Cho and welcome back to J Productions. Today is Valentine's Day, the day that most of you will be giving chocolates and stuffed toys to the people you care about. So I thought I would give to you my top 5 movies about love. Let's get into it. Now let's start with number 5.
Netherfield Park is let at last. Have you heard who has taken it?
I have.
Is he amiable?
Is he handsome?
He's single?
I believe so.
He's in. Oh my goodness. Everybody behave naturally.
Now my 5th favorite movie that involves love, I'd have to say, is Joe Wright's Pride and Prejudice, based on the famous novel, of course, starring Keira Knightley, among other names like Rosamund Pike. You have Carey Mulligan, Donald Sutherland, among all these other names. Of course, I know lots of you like the BBC version, which goes for like 6 hours. I personally don't like taking out 6 hours of my day to watch it, so for a 2-hour adaptation of the novel, Pride and Prejudice is actually really good. When I first heard of it, of course, I was like, oh, Pride and Prejudice, I don't want to watch that. But then a few years later, I actually sat down, watched it, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. The dialogue's fantastic, the banter between each other. It's just a really enjoyable experience. And the cinematography is fantastic. I just love the warmth you find in it. And the music, amazing score. Joe Wright, of course, went on to do Atonement, Hannah, The Soloist, and Anna Karenina. Now, I haven't seen The Soloist yet, but I've seen all his other films, and I really like Atonement and Anna Karenina. I'm not the biggest fan of Hannah, but to me, Pride and Prejudice is my favorite movie of his, and it's just this wonderful experience about how couples, they can be exactly the same and opposite at the same time, and they can hate each other while also being in love with each other, and I just love that kind of relationship and thing going on there. For Pride and Prejudice, I'd give it 4.5 stars. Really enjoyable, really well done, really surprising and unexpected. Definitely go check it out. Guys, trust me, you're not gonna hate it. I mean, if you have to watch something with your girlfriend and you don't exactly get to choose, if they choose this movie, you'll be very thankful because you won't want to kill yourself. It's like this.
You were the last man in the world I could ever marry.
Okay, now it's time for my number 4. Now, I'm going to cheat a bit and kind of make it a tie because these movies are connected. They're part of this bigger trilogy. The third one hasn't come out yet for wider audiences, so I haven't seen it yet. But these movies are Before Sunrise and Before Sunset.
Alright, I have an admittedly insane idea, but if I don't ask you this, it's just gonna haunt me the rest of my life. I have no idea what your situation is, but I feel like we have some kind of connection, right?
Yeah, me too.
Great. So listen, here's the deal. This is what we should do. You should get off the train with me here in Vienna and come check out the town.
They are about to meet for the first time since.
Hi.
Hello.
I can't believe you're here.
Well, I live here in Paris.
I wanted to talk to you for so long, you know, that now...
Me too. How long do we have? 20 minutes and 30 seconds?
No,
Let's go.
No, we got more than that.
Directed by Richard Linklater. He's done movies like School of Rock, Dazed and Confused, Bernie is his most recent, and Before Midnight, which was recently released at Sundance and should be coming to theaters this year, and will be the closer for this trilogy. Now I'll talk about Before Sunrise first because that's the first one. It's about these two people who meet on a train in Germany on holiday, and they decide to walk around the city of Vienna for like a day until the guy has to catch his flight, and it's just this really wonderful relationship develops, and just the way the characters talk to us, they talk realistically. There's no plot, it's just exploring these characters and them finding this relationship. Even though they're complete strangers when it starts out, they just find everything about each other. They get to know each other more than anyone else. And just this really wonderful relationship. I'm not gonna say the ending or anything, but just like how things develop. It's just a really wonderful watching experience.
Since we're never gonna see each other again, I don't think we should sleep together.
Let's see each other again.
I don't want you to break our vow, just so you can get laid.
kind of lucky we don't bite off their head after mating. Certain insects do that, you know, like spiders and stuff. We at least let you live.
Now, Before Sunset is a sequel which happens and was also filmed like 9 years after the first one. And the pair meet each other again, go through the stuff in life. Now, this one has a more grimmer tone for most of it, but it's still lovely. They get to talk to each other about what's been going on about each other, and they just discover each other all over again. Just two actors, Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke, just fantastic. Dialogue's great. And if the third movie, Before Midnight, is anything like these two, this might just be one of the best trilogies made. Of course, it won't be my favorite, but it might just make my top 5 of best trilogies made. They're just fantastic movies that look at stuff so realistically, but with all this love in it, all this intimacy that you don't usually see in movies, and the fact that it doesn't have a plot, it really lets you explore these characters. So some people, of course, need a plot to drive things forward, but these movies, it's just this, you experience the characters, you experience what's going on in the film, which is very immersive experience. It really takes some time to watch these. I promise you won't regret it. They're just a fantastic pair, and I'm really looking forward to the third one. And it may just end up being a really fantastic trilogy altogether. For Before Sunrise and Before Set, I'd give them both 4.5. Depending on how the trilogy goes, the trilogy as a whole, I might give it 5 stars, just because they just work together so well. And even as separate movies, they're fantastic, but just together, they work even so much more.
What if you had a second chance with the one that got away?
Okay, now on to my third favorite movie about love. Now, this is also my third favorite movie of 2012, so I don't really want to dig into it fully, because when I release my list within the coming weeks, I want to talk about it more then. But this movie is Moonrise Kingdom.
What kind of bird are you?
I'm a sparrow. She's a dove.
No, I said, what kind of bird are you? Dear Susie, here's my plan.
Dear Sam, my answer is yes.
Dear Susie, 1.
Dear Sam, where?
Dear Susie, walk 400 yards due north from your house to the dirt path which has not got any name on it. Turn right and follow to the end. I will meet you in the meadow.
Now, Moonrise Kingdom is the new Wes Anderson movie that came out in 2012. You have heavyweight actors like Bill Murray, Frances McDormand, Bruce Willis, Edward Norton. You have Harvey Keitel in a small part, Tilda Swinton. You have 2 young actors who really didn't have any experience before this movie, but they were just fantastic in it. And basically the plot is these 2 kids fall in love with each other, they become pen pals, and then they decide to run away together. Well, the thing is, they live on this really small island, so it's this whole kind of cat and mouse game of the parents and people trying to get them back and to separate them. You're probably thinking, why is this my third favorite movie about love? But that's because it is just such a sincere and such a lovely portrayal of young love, and it's just the relationship between them, between all the characters in it, the story, the way Wes Anderson makes this world you just want to live in. It's this really fantastic movie, and you really experience the young love of these people. I myself never got to experience that, but I did through this movie. And that's just the way this movie works. It's just a wonderful movie. It's been nominated for Best Original Screenplay. Unfortunately, it wasn't nominated for Best Picture, though I think it should have been, but I know it wouldn't have won, but it just would have been a nice nod, because not many people have been exposed to Wes Anderson, especially in Australia, which is very unfortunate because I just love his movies. I'm not a Wes Anderson nut, but I just really enjoy his movies, and I really think more people should watch them and experience them. For Moonrise Kingdom, I would give it 5 stars. Fantastic, whimsical, a brilliantly sincere movie.
I'll be out back. I'm going to find a tree to chop down.
My number 2 movie about love is Let Me In.
As some of you may have heard, there was an incident last night. One of your recent graduates here was killed. In the meantime, we need you all to be on the lookout for any suspicious activity.
I also want to include and give a nod to the Swedish film which came first called Let the Right One In. And they're both based on a novel, which I'm pretty sure is a Swedish novel as well, called Let the Right One In. Now, I know American remakes of foreign stuff gets really annoying, but it's not really a remake, it's more just a readaptation of the novel and just a different kind of vision. Both movies are fantastic, I just enjoyed and preferred the American one more just because it took a more personal view. Like in the Swedish one you get to meet all the characters and really see them, but in this one it just focused on the two kids, and that focus just gave it something more for me to connect with. Now this movie, believe it or not, is a vampire movie, and I know lots of people are like, oh, not another Twilight thing. No, don't even say that in the same sentence as this movie. They're both fantastic movies about love. If Twilight was any ounce the quality of these movies, it would actually be a pretty good movie. The cinematography, the score, Michael Giacchino is a genius. It's really kind of gothic kind of vibe, and that's something that we've been missing in our vampire movies lately. They're pre-teens, so they're not teenagers, they're not emo kids kind of things. They're just living a tough life. The boy's parents have gotten divorced, and he's feeling really lonely, and then he finds this girl that he's able to connect with. Came out in 2010, directed by Matt Reeves, who also directed Cloverfield. He's directing Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is a Rise of the Planet of the Apes sequel. This is where you really got to see his direction, because in Cloverfield, because it's a found footage thing, he wasn't really able to show his directional style, but in this movie he showed it, and it is just top notch. Chloe Moretz, Cody Smith-McKee, Richard Jenkins and his role is just fantastic. For Let Me In, I'd give 5 stars easy. Just fantastic, the mix of horror and just the themes, it just works, and all of that is because of the novel it's based on, which I hear is fantastic. I really want to read it, but just haven't been able to get my hands on it. But 5 stars for that one, definitely go check it out. Guys, you'll like it more because there are these horror elements, but don't go expecting this crazy bloody thing. Okay, now we've come to my favorite movie about love, and this one is actually a pretty obvious choice, but I know lots of people have forgotten about it, or they just watched it once and they didn't really get it. But the thing is, it's a movie you have to watch more than once, and it's just a fantastic movie that delves into relationship and love, and that movie is Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
I'm Valentine, by the way.
I'm Joel.
Hi, Joel. No jokes about my name. You like?
You look like a tangerine.
I want to be a great, big, huge elephant. You're trying to figure out, did I have sex with someone tonight?
And how do you get people to like you?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was directed by Michael Gondry. Stars Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet, Mark Ruffalo, Kirsten Dunst, Elijah Wood, and just these other people that I just can't think of at the moment. But it's brilliantly written by Charlie Kaufman, who I honestly believe is one of the best original minds when it comes to screenplays. And just his portrayal of love, you see a relationship through this. It's just fantastic. It's a movie you have to watch more than once to fully get. What it's about is this guy finds out that the girl he used to be with, he was really in love with, had him erased from her mind with this technology that of course doesn't exist. But because of that, spitefully, he does the same thing, but then through that he's able to relive through the memories of it all, and then he finds that he doesn't want to lose these memories. But because the procedure's happening, he is, so he tries as hard as he can to hold on to these memories. And he just doesn't want to let it go. The way you see their relationship, how it developed, how it failed, it's just amazing, it's poignant, it's brilliantly written, brilliantly shot. I mean, a lot of this stuff was in camera kind of techniques and what they do, and it's just really well done. The weird thing is, with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet, is they play the roles that you would think the other person would play. Like Jim Carrey's playing the Kate Winslet kind of person, Kate Winslet is playing the Jim Carrey kind of person. And somehow that just works. And it's just such a brilliant movie about love. It's a movie that I think everybody should watch at least twice in their lifetime. For Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, I would give it 5 stars easy, 6 stars if I could, but I just go by a 5-star rating. Fantastic movie, brilliantly done, brilliantly written. And that's why Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is my favorite movie about love.
Are you sure?
I'm so sure.
Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind.
I want my mommy. This is sort of worked.
Now I hope you've enjoyed my top 5 movies about love. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you have a wonderful time with your special someone. Subscribe, like my Facebook page. And I'm just Switch This is Jerry Productions. And remember to get out there and watch good movies.